Good evening, everybody, and welcome to our seminar tonight. I'm Samson from Healthcare. Today, we are very glad to have invited two friends from Italy to join our seminar. Our topic tonight is clinically validated bone assessment without any radiation, the spinal and femoral assessment characterization alternative. Dr. Paola Pisani is a research scientist at the Institute of Clinical Physiology of the National Research Center in Italy. She's also the clinical manager at ECHOS Spinal. Dr. Richard Daberali, he's specialized in biomedical electronics, electromagnetics, and telecommunications engineering. He's a clinical specialist at the ECHOS company. The two of them will discuss with us the scientific background of ECHOS technology, major clinical findings, followed by intuitive operation and practical product demonstration. We have a packed schedule tonight. So now, please give us a big applause, a round of applause to our two friends from Italy. And welcome, Dr. Paola. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your kind invitation.
Thank you. Better.
Good evening, everybody, and thank you for your kind invitation. This evening, we speak about the new technology for the early diagnosis of osteoporosis, based on the approach called radiofrequency echographic multispectrometry REMS technology. Well, we know that osteoporosis is related to the low bone mass and microarchitectural deterioration of bone tissue that induce an increase of fragility and increment the fracture risk. Nowadays, osteoporosis is diagnosed by a gold standard technique that is DXA, that is an X-ray technique. And it has some limitation that hinder its application for population mass screening or for prevention programs or follow-up programs. Then we have different cases of under or late diagnosis. In this context, our company, ECHOS SPA, that is a spin-off of the Italian National Council of Research, has developed the first radiation-free method for spinal and femoral densitometry, called ECHOS, which is based on the approach REMS. Now, I'll show you a short movie in order to illustrate our company and the use of our technology. And then I described all the detail and the clinical validation of the device.
Develops next-generation embedded hardware and software medical solutions to give people a better life. ECHOLITE created ECHOSOUND, a new approach for bone microarchitecture characterization based on the exploitation of radiofrequency signals acquired during an echographic scan. This patented method is the most advanced innovation for the assessment of bone strength. The outcomes of extensive research generated ECHOS, the first non-invasive device for the early diagnosis of osteoporosis at lumbar vertebrae and femoral neck. A quick software-assisted scan, which lasts about 60 seconds for the spine and 40 for the femur, provides simultaneous acquisition of images and corresponding radiofrequency signal. The algorithm automatically identifies the volumes of the target bone and discards wrong acquisitions and artifacts. The regions of interest are automatically identified, and the acquisition of several scan lines for each image frame provides the statistical basis for real-time signal analysis and spectral processing. The medical report includes all diagnostic parameters, BMD, T-score, body composition index, and the 10-year risk of fracture calculated through the integrated FRAX software. The fragility score also gives insights on the quality of the internal bone structure, offering an independent prediction of the risk of fracture. ECHOS will have a significant beneficial impact on the current protocols and clinical management of the disease, improving accessibility, accuracy, prevention, and short-term therapeutic monitoring, definitely making the early diagnosis of osteoporosis a primary care procedure.
Then this approach is the first technique that is able to detect the bone of the status of the bone and the microarchitectural characterization directly on the lumbar spine and femoral neck, that is the axial reference sites for the diagnosis of osteoporosis. This approach has some advantages because it can reduce the risk and the cost. It can be applied of all the population from 20 to 90 years, for example. It can really perform an early diagnosis of osteoporosis and realized a short-term follow-up to investigate the effectiveness of some drugs in a very short time, every few months, for example. And with this technique, we can perform population screening programs or prevention programs and characterize the bone microarchitecture. Another important feature that is this device is operator independent, as it will show by my colleague after. To perform the scan, we can refer to the axial reference site, spine or femur. In particular, the scan of the spine can be performed positioning the probe on the abdomen, moving it from L1 to L4 lumbar vertebra, and then moving it from the sternum to the pelvis. And in this way, we can acquire the image as shown on the right side of the slide. This is a typical structure, a vertebral structure, L3, L4, for example. Then, for femur, we can position the probe on the profile of the femur, on the femoral neck, in order to acquire the longitudinal section of the femur. In this case, we can obtain the echographic images, the remote images, as indicated in this portion of the slide. In particular, we obtain the full profile of the femur, obtaining the femoral head, the femoral neck, and the trochanter. We have developed an algorithm that is fully automatic and is able to analyze at the same time both the echographic images and the raw radiofrequency signals corresponding to the remote images. In this way, it is able to detect among the data acquired the target bone interface, as indicated by the red line in the slide, this and this. Then it is able to calculate the region of interest indicated by the green area internal to the bone in the trabecular area. Okay? Well, after the segmentation of this portion of the bone, the algorithm analyzes in detail the region of interest. In particular, it analyzes the raw radiofrequency signals corresponding to this portion of the bone. And through different advanced differential measurement between the raw spectra and it's able to analyze the spectral features of our patient, comparing them with the spectral features of age, sex, and site matched spectral models, which correspond of real patients that we have acquired and stored in our database. This model can be different, that is healthy bones or osteoporotic bones, or on the other hand, non-fractured bones or fractured bones. According to the model, to the pair of model that the algorithm chooses, we can obtain the osteoporosis score this, a parameter that indicates the percentage of bone interface that match with the osteoporotic model. Then it has been translated into PMD, T-score and Z-score, or on the other hand, we can obtain the fragility score. That is a new parameter which ranges from 0 to 100 that indicates the fragility of the bone, give an estimation of the risk of fracture. In particular, this parameter is in progress. The validation of this parameter is in progress. Well, we have performed different analysis, different clinical validation to establish the performance, the accuracy of our device. In particular, the first step has been the comparison with the micro-CT measurement. To do this, we have obtained the sample of human femoral head extracted from a chirurgical intervention, and then we have measured this sample with a micro-CT machine on the end, and on the other end with the RAMS approach. We obtained this type of sample. In particular, this sample is sectioned according to the head-neck axis in different slides. Each slide has been scanned in 30 different directions by this approach and by the micro-CT approach. We have identified the region of interest internal to the bone, and then we have analyzed the spectral features of the radiofrequency signal corresponding to this ROI. We are divided the spectral features of this portion into cortical layer, cartilaginous layer, and trabecular layer. And then we have, on the one hand, analyzed this information with the RAMS approach, comparing the spectral features of our sample with them of the osteoporotic model or healthy model. And then, through a spectral differential measurement between patient data and reference model acquisition, we obtained a correlation coefficient with the two models. In this way, we obtained the osteoporosis score value, which is translated into PMD. After this step, we analyzed the sample with the micro-CT in order to extract the major parameter of micro-CT. In particular, we focused our attention on bone volume on total volume, because it is representative by the volume of the bone. And through the comparison between the volumes on total volume with the osteoporosis score and BMD, we obtained our osteoporosis score validation. This is the data obtained. We have correlation, appreciable correlation between osteoporosis score and micro-CT parameters. R is equal to 0.80 for each angular position considered. And in each case, we have a clear relation between this parameter and bone density. After this, we have performed the clinical validation of this device with respect to the gold standard DEXA. We have performed this type of analysis on 10,000 patients, but in this case, I show you only a short sample of this data. In particular, I show you this study performed on 9,089 female patients, ranging from 30 to 90 years. Each patient underwent two types of examination. On one hand, a conventional DEXA, both on spine and on femur. And we analyzed all the reports of DEXA in order to discard all the acquisitions which are affected by some typical DEXA errors. And on the other hand, we use the ECHOS device and the RAMS approach to scan the same patient on the same side, that is on the femur and on the spine. And at the end of this exam, we compare the result obtained. The results are very, very interesting, as shown in these slides. In particular, we show this, the relation between the BMD measured by the ECHOS device and the BMD measured by the DEXA, both for femur and for spine. In both cases, we obtained a great correlation. The coefficient is equal to 0.81 and 0.82 for both the sides. It is very, very important to underline this result. And at the same time, we have evaluated the other type of parameter. The diagnostic accuracy of our device, that is the capacity of identify the same diagnosis for the same patient, and in 93% the cases or the 94% the cases, DEXA and ECHOS identify the same categories for the same patient. It is very important. Then we have evaluated also the smallest detectable difference, that is the minimum value that is evaluated by our device is very, very good. We are able to evaluate also a smallest variation of BMD than DEXA, that is 0.008 grams on square centimeters, and it is very, very different from DEXA. We evaluated also the sensitivity of this device, the precision of this device, calculating the intra-operator reproducibility and the interoperator reproducibility. We have a very good value also in this case, 0.40% and 0.30% for vertebra and femoral neck respectively. The third part of this presentation is about the new parameter, and the clinical validation of this parameter is now also in progress. And I show you a preliminary clinical result. We enrolled about 100 women, and these women had one end group of about 50 patients with the previous fractured, non-vertebral fracture, and another group without fracture. Then we compare this with the two techniques, with the DEXA and the ECHOS device, also in this case, and then evaluated the capacity of discriminate fractured patient from non-fractured one. And in this table is shown an important detail. As expected, if you look at the BMD extracted from DEXA, we saw that the BMD is able to discriminate in a significant way fractured group from non-fractured group, because the value of BMD is lesser than in the fractured group with respect to the control group. And in the same way, the fragility score is able to detect significant difference in the value obtained from fractured group and non-fractured group. In this case, we say that this value ranging from 0 to 100, and in this case, we find that the fractured group has a significant higher value of fragility score with respect to the control group. To confirm the discriminatory power of our fragility score, we also calculated the AOC for the two techniques. We obtained a good value for both the techniques, as we can see in these slides. And to complete the examination, we evaluated also the RAC curve and calculated the best cutoff for fragility score and for BMD in terms of sensitivity and specificity. And we obtained the best result in relation to the fragility score, because the sensitivity associated to the fragility score is major than that of the BMD. Well, we have also other clinical study in progress in order to validate and develop and validate other parameters. These multicenter studies are in Italian and in Europe. In Italian, we have different centers divided in different areas of Italy, and so in this way also in Europe, and we have to we want to enlarge our study also in other area of the world. These studies are monitoring by our advisory board. It is composed by Professor Maria Luisa Brandi, Professor Gianni Register, this is the president of ECHOS, the Professor Sales Cooper, this is the president of the IOF, and the Professor Adolfo Diaz Perez. In conclusion, we obtained the very good result about the performance of our device during the year, because this study of validation has started among 10 years ago. We obtained a good correlation between the osteoporosis score and the parameters derived from micro-CT. We obtained a very significant diagnostic agreement with DEXA, over the 90%. We obtained also good correlation between the BMD derived from osteoporosis score and those obtained from DEXA. On the other hand, the new parameter, fragility score, showed a good performance in the discrimination from fractured and unfractured patients, and then it can be used to identify patients who have a fragile skeletal structure in order to early identify fragile patients. Thank you for your attention. Do you have any questions?
Good evening, everybody. It is a pleasure for me to be here with you. And now I want to explain how to use ECHOS, how to use ECHOS software, and how to perform a scan and follow the instruction of ECHOLITE. This is the main interface when we switch on the software. We have the main to change the language. We can access to the user manual of ECHOS. We can change the setting. The setting are the connect to the printer, or to change the date, or to change the date, or to connect the PC to the internet. The teleservice is for the intervention of technician of ECHOLITE, for example, to have the last version of the software. And the section of report is to access to the report, to send the report by mail, or to see the report. This is the ECHOStudio software. To click in ECHOStudio software, we can have this interface, the main interface. The interface is divided in three sections. We have the patient information. We have the patient information, the FRAX questionnaire, other pathology, notes, and contacts. It is very important to insert the patient information, especially the date of birth, the ethnicity, the weight and height that change the model of comparison, and we can choose the actual size, spine, femur left or femur right. ECHOLITE have also both the license of FRAX. The FRAX is able to calculate the 10-year risk of fracture with if fracture or measure osteoporotic. We have also the possibility to insert other pathologies, contacts or notes to have an overview of the patient. And to click on Save Data, we can proceed on ultrasound field of view. This is similar to a classical ultrasound with field of view because ECHOS uses a convex probe with a frequency central equal to 3.5 MHz. In this screen, in this interface, we can change depth and focus with right and left for the depth and with up and down button for the focus. But I want to explain how to establish the correct depth on focus. ECHOLIGHT suggests, especially for the spine scan, suggests the correct depth in function of BMI. For example, for BMI a minus of 25 kilograms respect to meter square, we can choose 19 millimeter for the depth. With BMI between 25 and 30, we should choose 120 or 150 millimeters. With BMI measure of 30, we should choose 150 or 2010 millimeters. For each scan depth, we have different focus, generally R3 focus or 4, depending on the scan depth. To perform the scan, place the probe under the sternum with the indicator facing the patient face. Move the probe downward, maintaining it perpendicular to the plane of the vertebra. The operator must start from L1, proceed to L2, L3, and L4. In the ultrasound field of view, the spine is shown similar a disc because the reconstruction of the image, in the reconstruction of the image, we see the profile of femur, the profile of vertebra. And the correct position to allocate the profile of vertebra is below to the red focus line and inside the region of interest. When the interface for the spine scan is divided in 4 steps, when the operator must move from L1 to L2 or L2 to L3 or from L3 and L4, the ECHOS emits a beep. During after the scan, when the green progress bar is finished, the ECHOS is totally automatically, and the analysis is in progress. The time for the analysis is few tenths of second. In this phase, the operator can leave the probe and wait the analysis. After the analysis, the operator can choose to eliminate some vertebra to the medical report and click on the next on the screen. And we will see the medical report of the spine. We have the BMD, the age, and T-score. T-score establishes the diagnosis. The green is a healthy patient, the yellow is osteopenic patient, and the red is osteoporotic patient. The checkpoint is allocated corresponding to the age of patient and the T-score of total value of spine. In this case, minus 1.6. Also, for each vertebra, we have a single diagnosis by its color and a single value of BMD. ECHOS is able to establish also for the spine scan the body composition. The body composition is made of body fat, indicates the amounts of body fat mass in regards to the total body weight expressed as a percentage. The BMR is the basal metabolic rate, indicates how many calories you need to ingest in order to provide enough energy to vital function. And then for the femur, the the position or the correct position of probe is shown in the left figure. We have the axle of probe parallel to the axle of neck of femur and the indicator in the direction of the head of patient. This is the correct profile of femur. We have the head, the neck, and the trochanter. This is the correct position to allocate the femur inside the region of interest with the neck below of the red line focus. And it's very important to have a continuous profile without point of black. When the operator is sure to have a good profile, can start with the halt button or push this button and wait the green bar loading. The time is 40 seconds. After this, we have the automatically analysis, and in this case, the operator can leave the probe and wait the medical report. The medical report is similar to the scan to the spine report, because we have the BMD, the age and T-score, and we have the Z-score curve that indicate the medium of population or the ethnicity of the patient. We have a single value for the neck, BMD, T-score and Z-score. We have a single value for the trochanter and the total of the femur. We have integrated directly inside the medical report the answer to the question of the main interface for the FRAX software. But in the case of the operator doesn't follow the protocol of Ecolite, the software is not able to know the profile of vertebra or the profile of femur, and after the elaboration, the medical report is absolutely empty, without value. In this way, ECHOS become operator independent from the operator. So ECHOS is able to establish for the spine BMD for the total lumbar region L1, axial size L1, L4, a single value of BMD for each vertebra, the T-score, the Z-score, the FRAX, the fragility score work in process as explained from Paula, and the body composition. From the femur we have a BMD for femoral leg and trochanter, T-score, Z-score, the FRAX, and the fragility score work in progress. But now the gold standard to diagnose the osteoporosis condition is the DEXA. Now I want to explain what are the limits of the DEXA. The DEXA is a radiation exposure, has high cost, low accessibility, low accuracy, operator certified required, no bone quality, long procedure because the procedure is 50 minutes, no short-term monitoring, late diagnosis, position of patient, and operator post-processing. I want to show you another limit of the DEXA. This image is extracted by a public scientific paper of Messina, and shows that in the case of this DEXA, we have osteophytes in the L3. If you read the T-score of each vertebra, we have for L1, L2, and L4 a value around -2.5. And for L3, we have a value -0.5. From a scientific point of view, it's impossible to have in the same patient a difference between each vertebra measure of 1 unit. In this case, the DEXA have read this region with a high concentration of calcium. And is the same for the callus of bone or for the calcification. ECHOS is able to discard these artifacts from point and eliminate this in the analysis, in the elaboration of software. Another important limitation of limits of the DEXA is the position of patient and established by the operator. The figure A is a correct DEXA. The DEXA should have also L1, L2, L3, L4, but also L5 and T12 to be sure that L1, L2, L3, L4 are the actual size. But in some cases we have a problem. Another important request of the DEXA is that the spine is absolutely vertical and in the center of the region of interest. B is absolutely on the left, and DEXA use the neighbor of space with a referement, and must need a center spine. The same is for the patient. We have an incorrect position in this case. Or in this case, the operator have inserted in the examination the T12, but the World Health Organization established that the actual sites are the femur and the lumbar spine. L1, L2, L3, L4 only. The femur have other problem. This is the correct femoral scan for the DEXA. We have a correct axis in the neck parallel to the axis of the neck. We have a correct position of the neck box because the neck box should be adjacent to the big trochanter. And in this case, we have a problem of incorrect position because the region of interest is more down respect to the A. This is a General Electric of DEXA. And in this case, the error is the misplaced position of the neck box. The neck box doesn't touch the ischium. In this case, is overlapped. In this case, we have a lot of problem, but we can see how the automatically renown of software of the mask of the profile of femur doesn't follow the real profile of femur. Another error is the inadequate internal rotation because the patient should be placed with the foot open on 25 degrees. But if the patient don't have a good degree, the lesser trochanter is shown, and this is an invalid scan. Another problem is the abduction or the adduction, because the femur should be vertical. And in the new state of art, ECHOS is absolutely non-ionizing, is able to make a diagnosis in actual sites, absolutely accurate, bone quality, primary care, early diagnosis, short-term monitoring, very fast, less than 1 minute scan, absolutely operator independent, and high return of investment. Thank you for your attention. If you have some question.
Question for Dr. Paula and Dr. Ricky. If not, we'll have 5 minutes of break and then we'll proceed to the actual demonstration. Yes, question.
You said that your data correlate very well with DEXA. Correlate very
Correct.
DEXA with
Yes. Yes.
So, how
But
can-
with the correct DEXA.
okay.
With the correct.
Okay.
We have performed a check, a double check of the report of DEXA, discarding all the DEXA report were affected from some pitfalls.
Okay, but the patients are asking, how accurate is it? So, I mean, is it machine dependent or operator dependent or both?
No, our technique is not operator independent. Our technique is operator independent because the analysis is performed by the algorithm that is fully automatic, while DEXA required a manual examination of the data.
Operator for format operator.
Any limitation with the patient with scoliosis?
Scoliosis,
No,
no.
nothing problem, because you follow the profile of vertebra and find in different position, not in center, obviously, no, but you follow and can find the profile of femur in different position that you think, but you can find.
This sense is simple to acquire the patient with scoliosis with respect to DEXA because with our device we have not problem with the correct position of the patient on the bed. While with DEXA we have to perform a scan with the spine strength on the bed. In our case, also in the case in which patient has a not perfect position on the bed, we can also follow the profile of the spine. And then, in addition to this, our algorithm is able to recognize and discard automatically from the analysis all the artifacts, classification, sulfites, etc. And then also in this sense is operator independent.
The radiofrequency cause any damage to the nerve?
No. It's an echographic device. The probe has a central frequency of 3.5 megahertz
A classical convex
for
probe.
abdominal scan.
So, in case you don't have any question, we'll proceed to the short break. Around 5 minutes, then we'll proceed to the most important part of the presentation today. That's the product demonstration. And Dr. Paula and Dr. Richard, they will show us how operator independent is the machine. She will show the techniques to scan the patients, and then we'll invite some of you to come out and join her.
We can try to
Yes,
scan.
and see if the results agree with each other. Yeah. So please take a break. Thank you. If you have some question, you may find Dr. Paula in the front or ask our sales representative at the back.咁我哋而家邀請另一位同事上嚟照一照個股骨，係啦。仲有一個特別嘅地方咧，就係、我哋做呢個 ECHOS 嘅 scan 嘅時候咧，你見到就咁瞓喺張床度得㗎啦，即係唔需要好似 DEXA 咁曲起隻腳，或者點用一啲方法令到條脊骨盡量拉直佢。咁其實佢只要一個 relax 嘅狀態，掃描過程中間唔好喐，唔好講嘢，咁兩隻手放喺旁邊，咁就非常足夠㗎啦。
Then we can select new patient in order to have all the field empty. And now we enter the new information.
Your family name? Last name. YU.
Name?
咁如果個 patient 咧喺介乎年紀40歲至到90歲之間咧，其實可以做多一樣嘢嘅，就係預測佢10年之內個骨質疏鬆性嘅骨折風險。咁下邊咧其實係一個問卷嚟嘅，平時就分開嘅，即係呢個叫做 FLEX 嘅問卷。咁呢個問卷咧會問嗰個 patient 大概10樣資料，包括一啲家族遺傳嘅歷史啦，包括一啲生活習慣，有冇食煙啊、飲酒啊，用藥嘅習慣，有冇食開類固醇藥啊、類風濕關節炎呢啲咧，咁有機會係藥物令到個骨質容易啲疏鬆嘅。咁佢喺 calculate 個 risk 方面咧都會有影響嘅。咁再加上佢度完之後有個 T-score 嘅 value， 有個 set score 嘅 value。咁加埋呢個 FLEX 嘅問卷之後咧，咁佢就會計算10年之內個骨折嘅風險啦。咁呢個風險咧主要係股骨骨折、盤骨骨折嘅風險嚟嘅。咁個 spine 就冇預測嘅，係啦。咁譬如香港嘅骨質疏鬆學會咧，佢有個 guideline 嘅，針對呢個 Osteoporosis FLEX 嘅 index。咁譬如上面 major osteoporotic 咧，建議係唔可以高過20%嘅。咁20% 以上就需要一啲更加 advanced 嘅 intervention， 譬如真係要食藥或者係做其他真係負重運動嘅建議俾佢啦。咁下邊 hip fracture 咧，呢個 vary 即係大概3% 至20%。咁唔同 guideline 有唔同指引嘅。咁但係一般高過20% 就係非常之高嘅一個水平啦。
The figure will position the probe with the indicator facing the patient face, and we position the probe parallel to the neck in order to acquire the longitudinal section of the neck, on the femur. And we visualize on the screen the head, this is the head, the neck and the trochanter. And we can choose the depth and the focus in order to position this profile in the central part of the image in this direction. And the femoral neck has to be localized under the red line of focus and parallel to it. Then we can start the scan, and also in this case the software guides the scan through this progress bar that I'm through also in this case. The scan lasts only 40 seconds.
咁你會見到呢個大概有個頭啦，咁呢個就係個股骨頸啦。咁我哋將呢個股骨頸咧 parallel to 呢條中間嘅 focus line 紅色嗰條，咁佢已經可以開始呢個 scanning 㗎啦。呢個位置我哋完全唔需要喐嘅，即係唔需要好似 L1、L2、L3、L4 咁樣，直接擺個頭喺個股骨頸嘅位置，低過呢條線。咁成個 profile 咧要完整嘅，即係中間唔可以有斷開一節節白啊、黑啊。咁只要佢嗰個 profile 係完整嘅咧，咁就會 scan 到呢條嘅股骨啦。
Our patient is a good patient, and these are the indicators in the near the normal curve of the score. If we look at the table under the graphs, we find the information of the MD, T-score, and the score calculated for the femoral neck, which is colored by the corresponding color of the diagnosis, as we can see in the images, yes. While if we want to then to other detailed information, we can look at the table, which is indicated by region. We find the information of PMD, T-score, and Z-score evaluated for the total of the profile acquired or only for the trochanter. Also in this case, we have the table in this report for the 10-year risk of fracture evaluated by FRAX, if the patient aged from 40 to 90 years, obviously. In this case, it's not possible to analyze this type of information. As for the report of the spine, this report can be printed, saved as PDF file, and it has automatic save in our database.
Next volunteer right
有冇人想試下做呢個 femur scan 啊？其實呢個位置咧，只要你見到成個 spine 嘅femur 個樣咧，就會照到噶啦。係啦，咁阿 Richard 咧都會 guide 住你去做呢個掃描嘅。咁可以出去試一試都得，係啦。
We can choose the correct depth and focus because the profile is simple. Okay, so you can stop the end of the gel and then you can start. It's important during the scan of the femur to have always a continuous profile of fluid without any gap particular between the head and the neck.
最緊要個頭同埋條頸中間係要完整嘅，連成一線嘅，係啦。
點解呢個可以唔使喐都可以睇到咧？
因為佢最主要係照呢個位置，係個骨頸嘅位置。係啦。咁個股骨頸係呢條骨係 parallel 嘅，係沿住股骨頸。
頭先照到1.0幾，嗰家得0.8幾。係
邊個？
買咗呢度。
哦，可以比較下頭先嗰個。No, he's not Joe. It's David. David. 今次照出嚟大概2個 T score 都係負0.2嘅，係啦。Z score 亦都一樣，都係負0.2嘅。好，仲有冇人想出嚟試一試啊？係啊。哦，好。
話有興趣，但係你哋過嚟 demo 啊，或者有冇機會即係譬如我哋有借咗你哋部機去，即係譬如話
有機會嘅，係可以嘅，係。
咁我哋再聯絡。
哦 ，OK， 唔該晒你。其實佢聽日咧會有少少時間嘅嗰兩個，聽日唔得 ，OK， 冇問題。咁我之後上嚟同你哋。
其實都 OK。嗯哼。英文都好難聽㗎。
係啊係啊，好快佢哋。好，多謝晒，唔該晒。咁我哋都多謝晒大家今日出席今日嘅講座啊！如果有問題嘅咧，可以出嚟阿 Dr. Paola 同 Dr. Richard 咧，佢都 available 答大家有問題嘅。唔該晒。咁走之前咧，可以填翻我哋份問卷，咁令到我哋下次搞講座嘅時候咧，可以再進步一啲嘅。多謝晒。